Hello, Tarot viewers. Welcome to Good Morning Tarot. Well, another day is beginning, and we're going to have a general reading that is open to all signs. So, since it is a general reading, just take what resonates with you, and it is timeless. So, anytime you find yourself looking at this video, that's the right time. Now, sometimes also, when you are, if for example, you come back to this one because somehow you have a similar situation to the reading that is being given here, you can always come back to it. You feel free to come back to it. There's a reason why these readings are being given to us by the universe. And it is meant to stay here so that you can always come back to it when you have certain questions in life. Now, for our main energy for today, we have here the Magician. You are enough. Okay. Whatever challenges you encounter in life, you have the capacity to. You have everything that you need in order to address them. The reason why we encounter certain challenges in life, it is given to us by the universe because the universe knows we can handle it. And it is also because there is something in that experience that we will gain other things. Okay, so somehow when I look at the Magician, it's the universe telling you, whatever challenge you will encounter for today, everything that you will need in order to address that challenge is already provided for you. And you will not just make it through the challenge, but you will pass through the challenge with flying colors. You see here the Magician, he has his working table here. So this could be whatever you are doing right now. And you have the emotional maturity at this time to handle the challenge. You have the mental and deciding capacity to do it with the sword. The cup is the emotional maturity. The pentacle is all the resources, the health, and all your capacity, your groundedness. And finally, the staff is being on fire. You have that energy in order to respond to or arise to the situation. Now, at the same time, you can always ask the blessing and the guidance of the universe to bless your activity. One of the biggest things that, the important thing in life, the thing that we were taught when we were children is, especially when you were in a school that is run by a religious institution, is before you start any class, whether it be mathematics, whether it be science, usually they start it with a prayer. And for some of you, you have continued taking that. Now, whatever your religion is, whether you are a Christian, or you are in the Islamic religion, or whatever your religion you have different, we refer to the divine in different ways. It's good to start any activity with a prayer. It's like asking the divine or the universe to bless the activity that you have. And it reminds us that in whatever challenge or endeavor that we face in the day, the universe is with us. The spirit is with us. Our spirit guides are with us. And so we go through the activity aware of the presence of the divine in our life. And so what happens is we are not only in touch with the present reality, which is groundedness, but at the same time we are intuitively in touch with our inner self. And our inner self is where we are also in touch with the divine. So somehow, when we start an activity with prayer, sometimes all you have to do is to just tell tell the divine in silence, well, Lord, we have a new activity right now. Be with me, okay, or something like that. Or, Lord, I am going to address a problem right now. Could you please help me? Okay, just little thoughts, little to start the activity with prayer. Just like the magician, before he starts, because the magician is the first person that the fool who is beginning on a journey, he was the first person that the fool met. And the magician gave him or made him realize that all that he needs in the journey is already here and is provided for the fool. And at the same time, he blessed everything that he need. And I feel that's the reason why everything around the place where the magician is blooming, is flourishing. Why? Because this place is always a place where blessings are given. So just imagine if you have a working table or a working place. Before you start your work, you always pray for the divine to accompany you. If you have a working area and you constantly communicate with your spirit guides, now imagine how that working area would be. It will be filled with a lot of positive things because every time you you start something new, you always ask, please come accompany us. So imagine that is a place or that is very much frequented by the presence of the divine and very much frequented by the presence of spirit guides. So what happens? That place becomes blessed. And when that place is blessed, everything starts to flourish. It's a place that draws people close to you. It is a place that draws nature close to you. Why? Because it's a place that is filled with the presence of the divine. And when it's a place that is filled with the presence of the divine, it's a place that is filled with love, filled with positive energy. And it is just part normal that it will attract positive energies too. So when you constantly pray in that area, when you constantly invite the presence of the divine in that area, whether it be your working area, whether it be your room, when you start activities with prayer, the whole place becomes a sanctuary, a blessed area. And definitely everything around it will be positive, will be filled with love, will be filled with creative energy. And when they're filled with creative energy, everything will flourish there. Even your work will flourish because the work is being filled with somebody that is unlimited source of positive things. So the work also becomes a cup that is overflowing. So I feel that one of the very important messages of the magician right now is everything you need is provided for you. And at the same time, it is nice to start all activities. Just as the fool starts his journey, the magician blesses everything that he uses into the journey. And at the same time, the place where the magician is working is constantly blessed. So everything around him is blooming. Everything around him is filled with positive energy. So everything grows. It's the same when you start all your activities always with prayer, always with the awareness of the divine and your spirit guides. Then your workplace becomes a place that is blooming and it draws people close to you. And at the same time, you are constantly a person who will be creative, loving, caring for other people around them. Why? Because you realize that everyone around you is also part of you. A certain awareness when you are close to the source, you realize that everything came from the source. And when you realize that everything came from the source, you know that whatever happens to everybody around you, it affects you. So when they are happy, it affects you. When they are sad, it affects you. So you learn to love others too, even more. You learn to respect their space. You learn also to care. You learn to open your eyes also to the needs of others. So a lot of wonderful things happen, and it starts with just a short prayer of petition or asking for the blessing or the loving presence of the divine. And yes, you see him? He's constantly in the presence of the eternity. It's a beautiful thing. The number 2 is also a number of deciding things. So when you are about to decide something, it's good to ask the guidance of the spirit and your spirit guides. So this is what we have for the main energy. Now let us see how it will unfold. So this is a beginning of a new chapter. Well, help is on the way. So when you ask for prayer and guidance, when you encounter challenges, definitely somebody will come along to help you. Why? Because it's a project that is not only yours, but it is the project of the universe. And definitely the universe has all the resources that they need. For example, if you have a certain project and somebody with you has all the resources and they also want your project to succeed, then definitely they will use all these resources to help you. So if you encounter challenges today, always remember everything that you need is already there and people will come to help you. Especially if the challenge is difficult, the universe will send somebody there to help you. And right now I feel today, whatever challenge you will encounter, somebody will rush to help you. So it can be somebody will come along, it can be somebody from the past, or it can be somebody new. But this person is coming to help you and is in a hurry to help. Somebody who really wants to help you. It's like they're rushing towards you in order to help you. Or at the same time, they are rushing towards you maybe because they want to feel your positive energy. Okay, so that's another thing. So somebody is coming today. I don't know who he is or she is. So for some of you, somebody will be coming your way. And what this person will see is a person who is sunny, happy, confident, somebody who is aware of the presence of the divine in their life. And that positive person is you. I am not surprised. This is drawn. He's drawn to you, or he or she is drawn to you. And they are in a hurry. They're so excited to see you. Okay, now let's see what is the advice of the universe for today. Just enjoy the moment, okay? Beautiful. Well, the universe says, okay, we have your back. Today is going to be a sunny day. Just enjoy. Enjoy the present moment. Enjoy the love that we are giving you. Okay. Be the sunflower. The sunflower is aware of the sun and they draw their strength and everything that they need from the sun. A plant always is nurtured by the sun and also by the air around them. So allow the universe, allow nature to nurture you. So let nature nurture you. Be aware of nature. Bask in the beauty of nature and bask in the presence of the divine in your life. Start with prayers so that you will be aware of the divine's presence. And like the sunflower, it would be nice to develop that awareness of the present moment and awareness of the presence of the divine in the present moment. So like the sunflower, you follow the sun all throughout the day. The sunflower follows the direction of the sun. You would see it looking up at the sun in the morning, following the sun throughout the day, and looking at the sun at sunset. When the sun is gone, somehow the sunflower is resting also, as if waiting and preparing for the day to come. So in a certain sense, it's like also the sunflower is a little lonely because at night time they will have to wait for the sun. So there is that anticipation always. So somehow when you look at the sunflower, when they couldn't see the sun, they are sort of like a little bowed down, no? At the end of the day. So it's like them finding their joy from the sun, the source of all happiness. So they do not expect others to fill up their cup. It is the sun that fills up their cup. It is the sun that brings them happiness. Everybody who undergoes transformation realizes the importance of the source of the divine, whatever way we call. We could call him God, we can call him Allah, we could call him in different ways. The important thing is that you will see that the deeper you go through your spiritual journey, the more you realize the importance of the divine in your life. So this is what we have for you in our tarot reading for today. Now we will go to the second part, which is the self-care tip. Okay, for our self-care tip, it's very nice. It's learning to love yourself. And, well, when you look at the tarot reading for today, it showed us the sun. And the sun is somehow also allowing your inner child to enjoy the present moment. It is nurturing your inner self. At the same time also living the present moment. So somehow here, it's learning to love yourself. And when you learn to love yourself, you also learn to love others. You see your interconnectedness with everybody. You're close to the source, and you know everything came to the source, and we are connected to others. So when others are lonely, we are also affected. When others are happy, we are also affected. So in a certain sense, the more we become aware of the presence of the divine in our life, the more we learn to love ourselves as we undergo transformation, the more we learn to be a loving person also. And you don't want others to suffer. You don't want others to encounter loneliness, because what is happening to everything around you also affects us in a very personal way. Now, let us read the card for today. It says here, people who love themselves do not hurt other people. The more we hate ourselves, the more we want others to suffer. This is by Dan Pierce. So yes, the more we love ourselves, the more we love others. And we don't want others to suffer. That is why oftentimes those who undergo transformation, they are constantly anticipating also what is happening to the people around them. They are hurt when they see people or nature being unfairly treated. It hurts them to the point that they feel the pain within them. It's like suffering from the deepest bowels of their being. That is why if you would look at the stories in the scriptures of the Christian faith, when Jesus fed thousands of people, the 4,000 people, when they were in the wilderness, when he was preaching, it was the end of the day, and people are still there listening to him, and the people have to eat, and they have to be provided for with food. At the same time also, when he saw people suffering, oftentimes it is described in the scriptures that he felt the pain of the people from the deepest bowels of their being. And so oftentimes you would see people who undergo transformation, they become more sensitive to the suffering of the world, and also to those who are suffering in the world, whether it be people, whether it be animals or nature. When they see destruction, when they see suffering, they are affected by it, and somehow they try to extend a helping hand in their own small capacities. They try to alleviate the sufferings of the world. And we don't have, and sometimes we don't have to have all the resources to make a big difference. Sometimes a heartfelt prayer can be a very, very big help already. Now, let's continue reading from the card. It says here, reflect on a time that you hurt someone else. What inside of you was out of balance during this time? Have you been able to rebalance those parts? It's true. I mean, every time we get angry, every time we explode, every time we hurt somebody, we don't feel good afterwards. Actually, we feel guilty sometimes. And there is that longing to reach out for reconciliation. Even if you are the one who is hurt, you feel terrible, especially when it is somebody, the one whom you had the conflict with was somebody whom you consider very important in your life, somebody whom you love. So in a certain sense, it affects you. You see here the interconnectedness. You lose your balance when you get angry. You lose your balance when you hurt other people. And the only way that makes you feel better is when you try to do something to restore the balance. And so that's why sometimes approaching a person and saying, I am sorry, suddenly makes you feel better. It's because after the conflict, there was a losing of balance, an unbalance. And it's difficult when you carry things when they are not balanced. You know how it is when you carry a lot of things and there is not a balance of the carrying. It's difficult to carry these things. But if you are able to attain a certain balance, moving forward with these things becomes easier. It's the same with life. When there is an imbalance in our life, it's very difficult for us to function. Actually, it will cause a lot of wear and tear that later on will affect us in a negative way. So that's why unresolved conflicts, unresolved issues hurt us in the long process. It's like a car with unbalanced front wheels. Okay, sooner or later it causes wears and tear, and other parts of the vehicle becomes affected. So there is a need to maintain certain balance, because when we continue to move forward through life when there is an imbalance, it affects us in the long run. There is a consequence in the long run. So that's why the same also when there has been an imbalance because of a certain conflict, if we do not address it in the future, it will have some repercussions in our life. It's difficult to move forward. So it's very important for us also to attain a certain balance, especially when somebody was hurt. Okay, so let's try to read further with the handbook that accompanies this card, and maybe we can gain more insights regarding this being concerned, saying, I care. When somebody is hurting, I care. So people who love themselves do not hurt other people. So this is for your mental, emotional, and physical health. It says here, self-love is not just about focusing on the bright spots in our character, the parts that are easy to love. Likewise, self-care is not just about doing what feels restful and easy. Sometimes it means challenging yourself to explore dark corners that are uncomfortable. These explorations can be scary, but are necessary. Today, shine a light on a time you hurt someone else. Were you conscious of the hurt you were imparting or unaware? More importantly, how did you integrate the knowledge that you had hurt someone or the experience of doing it into your identity after the fact or after the incident. What did it teach you about yourself, your needs, your fears, how you walk through the world? What have you done with that knowledge? Sometimes the one of the things that keeps us from moving forward with joy in our life is when we fail to forgive ourselves. Sometimes other people already have forgiven you, but you have not forgiven yourself. So you still do not find peace. You still do not find happiness. Sometimes a short prayer like this can help us. It's like this: Lord, I am sorry that this has happened. I am sorry for the way I reacted in that situation. I wish I cannot undo it, but it's already part of my past, and so I cannot change it anymore. But I resolve to begin again. I resolve to take the lessons that I've learned from this one and I begin again. So there's always that: I am sorry. I wish I can change this, but I cannot change it anymore. But I resolve to begin again. It's the same also when we say sorry. People get tired when we just say sorry and we do not learn from that experience, and we constantly commit the same mistakes, especially if this is somebody who knows us very much. No? So when we hurt these people that we love, people who have been journeying with us, they get tired also when we keep repeating the same things. When we say sorry, they know that the sorry is not really heartfelt. It's just skin deep, because you still continue to commit the same things. They appreciate when you say sorry, and after saying sorry, you really resolve to learn from the experience and do better. So when we do that also, we also set ourselves free. So when we say, I am sorry, I cannot change it anymore, but I wish I could, but I cannot. But I resolve to begin again, and I resolve to learn from this one, and I resolve to prevent myself from going back to this kind of dynamics again. So you step forward. And so what happens here is, what have you done with that knowledge? Okay, what have you done with the lessons you've learned from it? What did it teach you? Be aware also, it can teach you also of your present state in your journey. There might be certain fears that somehow directed the way you reacted to the situation. And what are your needs right now? What are the things you need to attend to also? Now let us go to the second part, which is the external self-care, which is related to our relationships, our community, creativity, and work. Because we often do not intentionally hurt others, it can be difficult to face the fact that we have hurt someone. Intentions are powerful, but not almighty. Just because we did not intend to cause harm does not mean our actions, attitudes, words, or behavior patterns are not toxic to others in some situations. And that can be a hard pill to swallow, especially if you are trying to focus on loving yourself more, judging yourself less, and cultivating consciousness in your relationships. Today, as you move through life, try to focus your attention not on what you are trying to do, but rather on your actual actions and behaviors. Tune in to the energy ripples you set off around you. Well, it's a good thought to start with today. to enter this day with a loving energy, to enter this day constantly aware of the people and everything around you, to have that loving, nurturing, motherly, and creative energy in you. I guess when we go through life with this kind of energy, we draw positive things towards us. We feel happy. We are a cup that overflows, and everybody are happy when they are with you. And also the result is positive things and positive people are drawn towards you. And those who are struggling in their life journey, when they are drawn towards you, they undergo steps towards healing. So somehow, even those who are struggling in their life, especially those who are experiencing what you have already experienced, they too are being brought to you by the universe. Because the universe knows your loving, caring energy will also lead them to healing, will also heal these people. So that's it for today. Thank you for the likes and comments you've given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you again soon. Until that time, may God continue to bless your ways.